I'm gonna start off by saying this. If you got a stock motor, you can stick to a stock suspension. But if you got a built motor, no more stock suspension. Stay tuned. What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I got another one for you today. I told you guys, we're almost done with this bike. I'm like I'm there. There's no other parts I need to put on this bike. There's only seat time, little road time, stuff like that, just to get finished dialing in the bike. Now, when I say dialing in, that means getting this bike to do the same thing every time that I either let the clutch go or twist that gas real hard. That's all that means. But let me go back a step, okay? So stock motor bikes, stock engine, stock everything, because we're talking suspension today. Those bikes, you can keep a stock suspension. You're riding two up, that's when I would say, hey, if you got a stock motor, you need to start thinking about tightening up that suspension. Even if you're the kind of guy that likes to go miles and miles and miles, if the stock suspension is comfortable for you, run it. If you say, hey, the girlfriend, the wife's getting on the back, it's not gonna work out for you too much. The stock suspension is set up for a big range of weight on a rider. It's usually not going to be the best. It's not going to be good at all. Yes, it has a dial on the side. You know what? I got one over here. Let me see if I can show you guys real quick. Oh, this is the stock joint, okay? Yeah, that little tube, but it's only on one side. So I'm always trying to figure out, like, how does that work? If it's only on one side, how does it work? Miss me with that one, okay? Miss me with that one. Hot rods. Bike got some power, you need a suspension on it. You keep knocking the tire off, the tire breaks loose every time you twist it. Just because you need a suspension and a tire. You can keep trying tire after tire after tire. If your bike has power, it ain't gonna work because the bike won't squat properly. Whole bunch of different things I might get into on another time. Now, you see my race bike over my shoulder? I run a suspension on that. I run a Penske suspension. It's one shock. It costs $1,000 for one shock. And that ain't even like the most expensive, but just to let you see how much a suspension makes a difference. That bike flies on the street, on the track, whatever, because of that suspension. Without that suspension, it'd be knocking the tire off as well. There's a bunch of suspension guys run out here on these Harleys, and I'm gonna go in no particular order. You have Öhlins, which I always see is usually one of the most expensive. I'm only going with a few guys. I see Fox, I see Legends, and I see the combination. It's a Screaming Eagle mixed with an Öhlins. A lot of guys run that. I don't know how good it is. I've been seeing people just try and kind of like give it away. So I'm guessing that combination is not the greatest, or they're looking for a little bit more. The Öhlins, let's go with Öhlins, and this is just my opinion. When I see people run Öhlins, they're usually that performance bagger that takes the curves. Öhlins tends to sit the bike up higher, not to say that nobody else can, but when I see Öhlins suspension, the bikes are usually a taller bike. Guys want to get better lean angle on those bikes. No problem. I'm sure they're probably comfortable too. I never rode on one, so I can't tell you or give you my opinion on that, guys. Remember, when I tell you guys these things, that's only my opinion. Don't go off and say, hey, Mac told me to get this because it does this and it's the best of that. Because your guy, your mechanic might say, I don't like to run that because of these other reasons. I'm not the middleman on this one. I chose Legends. A few different reasons why I chose Legends. Always been known for their comfort, and it's an easier suspension to set up. Okay, so if I needed to do some tuning on my suspension, I can probably do it myself wherever I'm at. Now, guys, I'm gonna take you out to the bike. I'm gonna do a little bit more talking, and I'm gonna show you what the suspension looks like. All right, we here now, baby. All right, look, 13-inch Revo 8, fully adjustable. So I have the rebound, I have the sag, and I have the compression all set on my rear suspension for my weight, for me, for what I'm going to be doing with this bike. Okay, did it lower the bike any? I really can't tell, but I am more flat-footed. What I did in the front, and I'm going to jump over real quick and I'm going to come back to the rear, is the Legends Axio. I can't tell if you guys can see that. All right, well, it says Legend. So it's the Axio 21. call it the Axio 21 because they set this up as if you had an aftermarket 21-inch front tire. They did their homework. They set it up. That's what you run. It's an inch drop in the front, so the bike is definitely lower. I needed it because of the type of riding I'm doing. Now, I'm sure you guys might say, oh, I need all the travel I can get. Yes, that is very true. But once they set it up, that it already comes pretty much, they already figured out how you need to set it, and we can drop it an inch and still give you that factory-like travel. That's what they did with this bike. They also have it for the 23-inch wheel. It's called the Axio 23. So, guys, make sure you get the one you're looking for. If you have a CVO comes factory with a 21-inch rim, right? They have one set up for the road for the CVO as well. It's different than the Axio, so do not go and buy the Axio if you have a CVO. All right, let's get back to the rear. I went with gold, guys. Something a little different on the bike. Because I'm not running the reservoirs on top, I figured I can go with the gold because it doesn't take away from the bike. It doesn't do too much. So if you do look down in here, you can see that that's how it would be looking from the guy, you know, staring behind the bike. He really can't see it until he gets up on it. And it's like, oh, you're running a nice little suspension setup there. Oh, well, of course I am. So, Legends, right? A whole lot of adjustability. You got 7 settings there. 1 being the softest. No, I'm sorry, 6 settings. 1 being the softest, and 1 being the softest, and 6 being the toughest. Okay. So if you do need to find some more, you know, a little bit more firm of a ride, you could just reach your hand in there actually with the saddlebags on and make that turn yourself. All right, so I've always heard that the front end of the suspension is for the performance and then the rear end was for the comfort. Well, that's true to a degree. When you have adjustability, you can dial that thing in for anything you want it to be for. The front is always going to be your comfort. Of course, you know, you're going to feel the bumps there first, but when you see a bump coming, what do you usually do? You're raising up off that bike so it doesn't hurt your back. Well, Legend says, go ahead, try to hit bumps, hit manhole covers. Let's see what it is, because the suspension is set up so just on point, on the money, that you won't feel it, especially like you would feel it with a stock suspension. I mean, the stock suspension used to make me feel like I was bending the rims out there, guys. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it was horrible. It's night and day difference. I'm not selling this suspension. I have no affiliation with these people. I'm not getting any money. I'm not getting any endorsement. I'm not getting anything. I'm just telling you, this is what I run and why I run it, because it has made me a believer. Guys, I've told you in previous videos, I wasn't so inclined to go out and grab my suspension without everything else being done. Suspension is always the last thing for me. Just because of the type of riding I do, and just because of the competitiveness that you know, I have to use this suspension for. So at the end of the day, I do have to take this bike out, make some little runs on it, dial the suspension in as best as I can for the streets. It's a little different for the track, but this bike will mainly see the streets, and that's pretty much where we'll be at with this bike. Now, I know you guys might have some opinions. I'm sure you guys might have some questions. And as I've said many and plenty of times, hit me in the comment section, man. I'm always here to try and give you the knowledge that I've got. I'm usually asking the questions of other people to get, you know, the answers that I can give to you guys that I feel like you're going to ask me anyway. So I'm not an expert by any means here, guys. So don't say, hey, you said this wrong, you said that wrong. I'm telling you what I know, what I have. Guys, let's make this channel grow. It's been growing. I appreciate it. We're going to do something for 10,000 subscribers, man. When I hit 10,000 subscribers, we're definitely going to make a move. And real quick, guys, because I know it's coming, let me show you just a little bit of future videos to come and things we're going to talk about. But there will be some riding. There might even be some racing coming up soon with this bike. And there's definitely going to be me out here dialing this bike in, and I'll show you how I do it. I probably won't be talking as much. It'll just be some video content for you guys to watch. But guys, appreciate you for joining. Till the next time. Peace.